But first, a marathon school board meeting continues right now as administrators debate a proposed policy to protect transgender students on campus.
Tonight's decision could impact your children. 13 Action News reporter Brian Callahan is live at County Commission headquarters, which was used to handle the capacity crowd. And Brian, where does the decision stand at this point?
Well, they spent more than 3 hours on this topic alone right now. As you can see, they're still taking public comment. They just called up the last few people at this point, but it's pretty clear from some of the comments from board members, there's two clear lines of thinking up there. Some that say they want to wait for the state to hand down regulations, but others are calling that a stall tactic, saying they need to get this started on this issue before they have a bigger issue. Hundreds rallied to make their voices heard on the Clark County School District's gender diversity policy. Cameron Johnson was among them, saying she knows the struggle of being singled out.
Instead of, oh, I got to go and use the restroom and be back 2 minutes later, you got to be like, oh, got to use the restroom and be back 10 minutes later or not come back.
At issue is a law that requires the state to draft a policy to protect transgender and gender diverse students. CCSD would have to follow those rules, but the board is considering drafting its own rules before the state finishes its work.
Our vote tonight is to ask the superintendent and his staff to work on what a policy would look like and to make sure that that new policy would comply with federal and state law.
Some parents, like Aaron Phillips, say the district is leaving parents out of the process and moving too quickly.
We believe that all kids deserve privacy, all kids deserve respect.
Phillips says parents need to be part of drafting guidelines for principals so all kids, regardless of gender or sexuality, are protected.
Asking them to go ahead and just write a policy and then come back to the committee with that policy is not going to fly. Parents do not trust them to do that.
Johnson's mother says that extra time would be extra stress on her family.
Every day that she goes to school, I'm nervous and worried that she'll be assaulted in some way.
Even if the board votes to draft a policy tonight, there's no guarantee that that would be approved. That's because it would have to come back before this board for another likely long night of debate. Reporting live, Brian Callahan, 13 Action News.
All right, thank you, Brian. The gender diversity vote isn't the only hot topic at tonight's meeting. Trustee Kevin Child is threatening a lawsuit over a settlement with the assistant superintendent after she filed a discrimination complaint against the district.
So if you go forward with this, I believe this is politically incorrect, and I will sue for slander.
I will not be bullied by anybody on this board to not do the right thing.
Public documents did not identify the source of the discrimination, but comments made during the meeting made it clear to many that Child was somehow involved.
New tonight.